I think he's being set up to fail. That's right, I'm going to say it.
Okay.
Here we are on national television, right? There's been 11 practices, if I remember correctly. He's been starting against he's been playing against the third unit. He's fourth on the depth chart. And then suddenly you throw him into the start lineup, and he hasn't had...
ESPN turned on Shedeur Sanders faster than a Cleveland Browns season collapses in December. One moment, they were hyping him as the next big thing, the quarterback destined to change everything for a franchise that's been searching for answers since the Mesozoic era. The next, they were orchestrating a full-scale narrative assassination, tearing down the same player they built up just weeks before.
Let me make sure I'm understanding this correctly. You expect me to believe, based on that comment from Jimmy Haslam, that the Cleveland Browns are intentionally sabotaging Shedeur Sanders? You expect me to believe the Cleveland Browns are intentionally setting Shedeur Sanders up for failure? You expect me to believe Kevin Stefanski is risking his job, his career? A 43-year-old man with a wife and 3 children. He is risking his entire career just to see Shedeur.
Because he was selected to start a preseason game. That's it, a preseason game. Yet Stephen A. Smith, armed with his trademark fiery takes, is already leading the charge, insisting that Cleveland has set Shedeur Sanders up to fail. But here's the truth. This isn't about failure at all. It's about opportunity. And deep down ESPN knows it. They're not afraid he'll stumble. They're afraid he might actually rise to the moment and prove them wrong.
He doesn't. And then all of a sudden he's starting tomorrow night. It's like you want him to fail. I'm not accusing the coaches of doing this. I'm not accusing the GM of doing this. But that owner, Mr. Haslam, that's a different animal right there. Mr. $230 million guaranteed deal to Deshaun Watson. And then he gonna come out this time around. I had nothing to do with this pick. I didn't have anything to do with it. I mean, that wasn't me. That was GM Barry.
If you're enjoying this, make sure to subscribe. Stephen A. Smith believes the Cleveland Browns have set Shedeur Sanders up to fail. But honestly, that's the kind of backward thinking that proves some people just don't recognize greatness when it's staring them right in the face.
Have one practice with the ones, and he's going to start. And this is now being called sabotage. And this is not just like crazy internet dweeb. It's like network people.
Yes, Shedeur hasn't been getting first-team reps. Yes, he's been practicing against the third team. And yes, he's been thrown into a preseason game with limited time alongside the starters. But you know what that sounds like? The beginning of every great quarterback's story. Tom Brady started as 6th on the depth chart. Aaron Rodgers waited years behind Brett Favre. Russell Wilson was told he was too short. And now, ESPN wants us to believe that because Shedeur Sanders has to prove himself under less than ideal circumstances, he's destined to fail? Please. That's exactly how legends are made.
Preseason opener. Kevin Stefanski confirmed this today and added that Tyler Snoop Huntley will be the only other quarterback to play in the game, with Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, and Dylan Gabriel slated to rest.
Won't he do it? Won't he do it, Unc?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look. Your opportunity has presented itself. It's kind of like divine order, if y'all ask me, Unc and Ocho. You know what I mean? Like, it's like God working mysterious ways, man. I know we don't want nobody to get hurt, but to see them two dudes have, somewhat hamstring injuries, and Flacco obviously probably who's not going to play. Man, I'm looking forward to him just coming out, relaxing and just having fun.
Let's talk about what's really happening here, because the ESPN narrative machine is in full spin mode. They're acting like the Browns tossed Shedeur Sanders into a gladiator arena armed with nothing but a pool noodle and a prayer.
Associate yourself from a quarterback that's on your roster at this particular moment in time. You give him no first-team reps. He's been working out with the third team, and then you just gonna throw him.
But here's what they're conveniently ignoring. Shedeur Sanders didn't fall to the 5th round because he couldn't play. He fell because 31 teams were too scared of the noise, too intimidated by the name on his back, too hesitant to deal with everything that comes with drafting a Sanders. And now that Cleveland has given him a real chance, now that he's actually getting a start, ESPN is scrambling to control the narrative. They can't let him succeed after spending months insisting he wasn't worth a first-round pick. So what do? They twist the story, painting him as a victim of sabotage instead of admitting they might have gotten it wrong.
Some permanent rest. I'm gonna play so good, they're gonna be gone. When we get, it's gonna be gone. It's over for them.
Yeah.
It's over for them. Just do what you do.
Cleveland has treated him badly this whole preseason. Are you serious right now? This is the same Cleveland that traded up to draft him when he was sitting there in the 5th round, like a $20 bill on the sidewalk that everyone else was too proud to pick up. The same Cleveland that could have easily passed on him entirely, but instead saw the value 31 other teams were blind to. Every rookie quarterback has to prove themselves. Every single one. But somehow, when it's Shedeur Sanders, it suddenly becomes a conspiracy. When it's anyone else, it's called paying your dues. The Browns don't owe him first-team reps, a starting job, or a red carpet rolled out to the 50-yard line. What they've given him is something far more valuable, a chance.
See exactly what they working with. Oh, we don't know if they just trying to throw him to the fire. All I know is this is not his first rodeo when the pressure is on. He has always been able to overcome, and I think he was born for moments like this, and it's against the Carolina Panthers. I don't see too much of a threat when it comes to their defensive line. I don't see too much of a threat when it comes to their secondary. This should be a fairly good...
They don't know how to handle a big star. That's rich coming from the same network that spent years convincing us Johnny Manziel was the next big thing. The Browns have dealt with big names and big egos for decades. Some with success, some without. But here's the difference. Shedeur Sanders isn't just a big name. He's a big talent with a big name. And that combination terrifies the establishment. Because if he succeeds, when he succeeds, it exposes every scout, every analyst, every talking head who wrote him off. It shines a light on how the NFL really operates, on how real talent often gets buried under politics, personalities, and petty concerns about lineage. But the best thing Cleveland has done is simple. They've given Shedeur a chance. And that's exactly what he's going to take. Champions are forged in the fire of adversity, tested when the odds are stacked against them, and proven when everyone expects them to fail. Right now, Shedeur Sanders is stepping into the perfect scenario for someone with his skill and mindset. Nothing to lose and everything to prove.
This is it. I mean, I don't mean just this one game, but I'm saying this is his chance. Even though it looks like he's been practicing well, what we talked earlier, like it just seems like they don't want to give him the shot to really move up. Well, they have to now. And I salute them for not. I think to start Tyler Huntley in this game would have just been like, yeah, it would have either been insulting or he is just light years away from being ready to play in an NFL game. And so I'm glad he's getting a start. I said earlier, maybe he plays a half, Huntley plays. If he's playing well, he's going to play.
ESPN is trying to pile pressure on Shedeur Sanders, framing this as an impossible task, an unfair test he's destined to fail. They're already setting the stage for their "I told you so" moment, crafting the headlines about how the Browns mishandled their young quarterback. But here's the thing about pressure. It's what turns coal into diamonds. And pressure is something Shedeur Sanders has lived with his entire life. Being Deion Sanders' son, carrying that legacy, having every throw dissected and every decision questioned since he was old enough to hold a football. That's pressure. So you really think a little NFL preseason heat is going to break him now? They say he's not ready. But readiness isn't about perfect preparation. It's about what you do when the moment arrives. Whether you've had every advantage or you're fighting uphill, true readiness shows itself in the fire. Shedeur didn't need ideal conditions at Colorado to put up record-breaking numbers against Power 5 competition. So why would he need everything handed to him on a silver platter to succeed in Cleveland?
Quarterback in the draft. He fell to the 144th pick as a 5th-round pick. It was universally recognized that it extended beyond the field of play as to why his stock plummeted. He gets picked up by Cleveland. I'm simply saying, if you look at the kind of circumstances that Shedeur Sanders has had to embrace, And on top of it all, you haven't exposed him to any first-team reps. And then the first time he's going to see anything comparable to that is in his first ever preseason game. I'm just saying that looks very.
The narrative ESPN keeps pushing, that you need first-team reps, perfect preparation, and ideal circumstances to succeed, is exactly the kind of thinking that keeps mediocre quarterbacks starting while exceptional talents sit on the bench. You know what builds champions? Diversity. You know what separates the great ones from the good ones. How they perform when everything isn't perfect, when the lights are brightest, when the pressure is highest, when the doubters are loudest. And right now, every condition is set for Shedeur Sanders to do what he's always done, exceed expectations and silence critics. Some say Cleveland has treated him badly, but let's actually examine that. They've treated him like what he is, a fifth-round rookie quarterback who has to earn his stripes. That's not disrespect. That's reality. And here's what Cleveland has done right. They've put him in position to rewrite the narrative. They've given him a stage, a platform, an opportunity to prove that their fifth-round steal might just turn out to be the bargain of the decade.
Sanders has been with the Browns through OTAs, rookie minicamp, and training camp. He knows the playbook, the head coach, the coordinator, and his teammates. And because he only gets one practice with the ones, it's sabotage. You've got to be kidding me. Stop pandering. Stop protecting media. The great ones would consider this an...
They say Cleveland doesn't know how to handle a big star, but the best thing the Browns have done is give Shedeur his chance. And in that contradiction lies the truth ESPN doesn't want to admit. Sometimes the best way to handle a star is to let them shine under pressure. Sometimes the greatest gift you can give a champion isn't a red carpet to walk on, but a mountain to climb. When Shedeur Sanders steps onto that field Friday night, when he takes his first snap in an NFL uniform, he won't be thinking about the lack of first-team reps, the media narratives, or the impossible expectations. He'll be thinking about what he's always thought about, proving he belongs. And that's exactly what he's going to do. He's not just taking an opportunity or a chance to play. He's taking the moment itself, because that's what champions do. They don't complain about circumstances. They conquer them. They don't make excuses about preparation. They maximize it. They don't point fingers at the organization. They point the scoreboard in the right direction.
But he does so good in the preseason, the team picks him up and uses him as a starter or a backup. When he does good, the Browns organization uppers, the GM and the owner, they put their pride to the side, and he does so good that they let him be a backup or even starter by week 1 or at least week 3, 4, 5. Or lose, he does good, and the Browns owner, who didn't want him initially, and GM and all the uppers say, yeah, but we got all these guys. We didn't expect this, so, we're going to put him on the practice squad, or we're going to cut him, whatever it is. Or lose, second lose, Shedeur stinks it up. He could not do good.
Sanders will show them who the best quarterback is. Not through perfect statistics, though those may come, and not through flawless execution, though he's capable of that too, but through something far more powerful. The ability to rise to the moment when everyone expects you to shrink from it. The ability to turn adversity into advantage, pressure into performance, and doubt into determination. ESPN can keep pushing their narrative that he's being set up to fail. The Browns can keep treating him like a developmental project. But when that ball is snapped, when the lights are bright and the stage is set, only one truth will matter. Can he play? Excellence always demands recognition, no matter how many obstacles stand in its way. And greatness always finds a way to make itself undeniable, no matter how many people try to deny it. When Shedeur Sanders steps onto that field, he's not just representing himself, his family, or his legacy. He's representing every overlooked player, every undervalued talent, every champion who had to fight for their shot. And now, it's his moment to prove that all the noise was just that, noise.
Like, he's actually about to get ready to live out the American dream, which is making it to the NFL. That's probably one of his main goals. And to be able to, start in his first preseason game. Man, I remember when I was a rookie, Uncle Ocho, listen, boy, I took the preseason like it was the playoffs. Like, because as a young fella, you gotta prove yourself.
You don't know no better.
You gotta prove yourself. So only thing is going out there playing hard. And
ESPN isn't slowing down, it's going into warp speed, just not in the way they intended. Every time they question Shedeur Sanders' readiness, they add fuel to his fire. Every time they claim he's been set up to fail, they're setting him up to prove them spectacularly wrong. And every time they doubt his ability to handle pressure, they hand him another reason to rise above it with the same poise and precision that got him here in the first place. Because here's what ESPN doesn't seem to understand about Shedeur Sanders. Pressure doesn't break him, it reveals him. Adversity doesn't diminish him, it defines him. Every time he steps onto a field, the league becomes a little more real, a little more electric, and a lot more honest about what true talent looks like. Friday night isn't just a preseason game, it's a statement. And Shedeur Sanders is about to make it loud and clear. The Shedeur Sanders effect isn't coming. It's already here. It's real. And it's about to turn every doubter, every talking head, every analyst who bet against him into a footnote in the story of how a fifth-round pick became the steal of the century. ESPN turned against him. But champions need enemies. And Shedeur Sanders just found his.